Holmes was born. Then he got fat, bald, and tired. Sup, Holmes?
There was nobody like you when I was growing up, helping me to learn how to make video games and to normalize it and give me a community to do it within and bring people in to help instruct me. And this is, I mean, people are trying to do that with Full Sail and whatnot, but that's not the same as this kind of, did you get paid for doing any of this? What?
No, I've done this entirely out of pocket.
What? Are you rich? Are you secretly rich? That's a weird question. No, you don't.
Not even
So all of that time and energy put into that just to help people to embrace game development as something that they can achieve, as opposed to, because it's very hard. You've probably heard a lot of people talk about how when you first play video games, you can't imagine actually making it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Edmund McMillan and I have talked a lot about that, how when he first played video games, he just assumed they came out of a factory, just someone put it out, but a human mind went into creating that, and to wrap your head around that process is not an easy thing, and you, wow, thank you for being you.
I would not be able to do it if someone hadn't done it for me.
Right. So they started, it was, I'm sorry, what's the name of the N+ developer again?
MetaNet.
How do you say that?
MetaNet, M-E-T-A-N-E-T.
MetaNet, and it was
Mayor
Shepherd?
Yes.
Yeah, these are all people I should know about, but I don't. And say real slowly the name of that thing they did, because you said it, but I didn't quite hear it.
The original thing was the Difference Engine Initiative. They ran 2 incubators like that. I don't know if they're ever doing it again, but we're actually, the 4-week one that we did, we're running another one in Toronto called, okay, so I've got a terrible sense of humor. The first one was run during the month of January because I thought of wanting to use the pun Jamuary for a game jam.
That's a good sense of humor, sure, yeah.
And so I thought of another one, July, je being the French word for games. So that's what we're doing.
That works for Toronto, absolutely.
It's so cheesy.
Are January and July happening?
January already happened, and I'm really happy that all the girls are still involved with some aspect of game development. We had like a high school team that they're going to school for it now. One of the girls is actually, she's in San Francisco right now. I can't wait to hook up with her. She does like a bunch of music for different games now while she's still trying to figure out what she wants to do for more development. Mm-hmm. Just things like that. It's been great to see that everybody still does it. Like, I can't believe we have this high of a retention rate. It's the best thing.
Right, so it really stuck. And it wouldn't have stuck if you didn't create an atmosphere where people could feel like it was a community thing, probably healthy competition, but at the same time, collaboration and cooperation on that. So, yeah.
We actually didn't see any kind of competition at all, which was kind of cool. Yeah, everyone was just really, really super psyched. And it wasn't so much competition, but you would see people be very self-effacing and be like, oh, well, this is all I've got. It's not very good. And I'd be like, no, you worked your butt off on that. And one of the things we really did try to stress was to make sure people knew that going in, they weren't going to have like a Call of Duty at the end of the month, but they really reward like the hard work and the learning and looking at it very much as a prototype and such an iterative process, because making games always is.
I want to hear about some of the games that you're working on.
Yes.
Super Street Fighter, is that one?
Yes, Super Street Fighter is, I am so happy that I got asked to be the gameplay designer on it. More or less, the gist of it is the team's built these data capture gloves that you wear on your hands. And this isn't a video game. There's no screen. And you stand...
Well, it's kind of like Johann Sebastian Joust in that way. It's an electronic game, kind of.
Yeah, it's one of those cool things that's sort of straddling the line, and especially since it's based off of a video game. So you've got these gloves, and you can do like a Hadouken, and the data will capture and basically verify whether or not you've done it right. And then the ring of flame effects that you're standing in will react. So it's like, so you like throw a thing at your opponent, like you throw up a jab, and then the flamethrowers go like.
I think you should back up a little bit, because the listeners might not have heard before. The ring of flame effects you're standing in?
Flamethrowers, yes.
You're just in flamethrower, like a ring-shaped flamethrower, kind of.
Yeah. Well, no, it's multiple flamethrowers. You're just standing in the middle of a ring of flamethrowers.
Where did you get the flamethrowers? They're not easy to come by. It's usually like the last item you get in Resident Evil. They're a very rare weapon. Where'd you get the flamethrowers? You built them.
Well, not me personally. I'm just the gameplay person. But yeah, the team built them. And we've got different, like, player 1 has one color of fire, player 2 has a different color of fire. Because that's the thing you can do. Yeah, I swear.
Oh, it's so good. It's so awesomely good. And is it a game where one player can beat another player with fire?
It's versus.
It's a versus game. And what color are the fires?
Green and orange, I believe, is what we're going with presently.
Sounds incredible. So is the gameplay, it's mostly a motion-controlled game. And it's a fighting game, would you say?
Yeah, you basically mimic similar to, like you can throw a Hadouken and it will do that, like, behind you. Like, it will react. We're also doing some cool stuff for the Ringmaster's gloves, too, where the Ringmaster can do cool flame effect stuff to help make it even more of a spectacle than it already is. Right now, my big project is called It's Not Okay, Cupid, which I'm hoping to try and do some interesting things with the visual novel genre, because I feel like, I don't care about, like, dating sims as a thing outside of thinking they're very interesting from, like, a people watching and what does this say about, the way that they exist. Like, what does it say about the people who play them? What does it say about the makers? What does it say about, that whole thing? Because I think it's, like, visual novels have a lot of potential, and I love seeing things like Phoenix Wright, I think, which had a lot more game elements. It wasn't just you press a button and read. Christine Love's games are also very good for that.
Sure, analog hate story. And,
digital love story, things like that. Which is cool because she's actually become a friend of mine.
I see you guys on Twitter all the time.
Team Cotton Candy, pink and blue hair. But it's not okay, Cupid. I'm trying to play around with that genre generally and have more, especially because it's a game about dating, and a lot of people treat dating as a game. There's all that sort of the speech surrounding it, as well as, like, dating sites in general. Like, it started because I was going to make a quick 2-hour dating sim based on online dating, like, for the same thing I made Jeff Goldblum's daring contest for. But as I mentioned this on Twitter, something really interesting happened. Tons of people wanted to tell me their stories. So many people have a terrible online dating story, or at least one usually. And it just kind of spiraled out from there. And I don't know, it gave me some stories that I actually really wanted to tell about, like, trying to live in an era where we're more connected than ever. Like, we're having this conversation right now. You're on the opposite side of the country.
Sure.
So we're technologically more connected than we've ever been in human history, but a lot of us kind of suck at forming actual, real connections with somebody. So that's sort of what the game is about. So that's the kind of game I want to make, that uses, like, that does something with the gameplay that's interesting narratively. And I want to tell stories, and I want to tell stories through designing interaction and world building and things like that.